If you think you're doing enough, think again. There is someone probably outworking you. This is what I now think of after having this conversation with this week's guest. This week, I present to you Lewis Polhill. I was training at the gym and I ran into Lewis, and I low-key didn't actually realize how much of a talker he was. All love, bro, all love. But we caught up in the gym and it made me want to invite him on the podcast. Because I was training and he was training and didn't want to take up each other's time. But I felt this energy about Lewis and I just wanted to just have an intentional conversation with him. So I thought, why not? So little did I know though, when we went onto the podcast, I wasn't really going to expect what we were going to talk about. But on the grand scheme of it all, the meat of the conversation was we talk his goal as an entrepreneur in the service industry through Titan and the e-commerce space through Loaded Candy. So those are his two businesses right now. And the work ethic on this guy is unmatched, like far out. Coming from a 9 to 5 job to now betting on himself and going out on a gym floor a couple of years ago, he talks through what it took to where he is now. Coaching athletes on an international stage of powerlifting, to now building a team of elite athletes and coaches, to traveling the world and keeping the ship running and finding the balance between holidays and working away from home. So this is a really meaty conversation. Lots of laughs. I got to know Lewis on a deeper level now and I'm so grateful. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. And yeah, this is episode number 63. Thank you very much. Before we continue with this show, I want to take this time to acknowledge and say thank you for those who have been supporting the podcast over the past 2 years. I believe this podcast wouldn't be where it is today without the support it's been getting. And it's all thanks to for you guys sharing the podcast and giving a rating on Spotify or Apple. If you're new to this podcast or a new supporter, what I ask of you is to show support by doing the same, and I would just love to continue serving you guys with different guests and different topics every single week. And it's all thanks to the support and the exposure it's been getting to the people out there that, that may need to hear this or just find value in hearing the conversation. So again, I just want to say thank you for the support and let's grow together. Enjoy the show. Lewis,
Jose.
I'm gonna ask you just to start us off with.
Yeah.
Can you just describe your calling card?
My calling card,
Yeah, what is it?
like my purpose in life.
I guess so. He
My
can start
calling,
with
is that what you're asking?
that.
Calling card sounds like a
I guess.
Yu-Gi-Oh card or something.
I guess. How would you introduce yourself? What do you do?
I am a powerlifting coach and a business owner. I'd say that's a big part of who I am. I own two businesses, Titan Performance, founder and head coach, and Loaded Candy, so supplement business. So that takes up most of my time. That's pretty much a big part of who I am and what takes up my time.
Like those two?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And I guess what's the purpose behind? Is it like, are those two intertwined?
Yeah. So the purpose. I think my calling card. If I understood that right, calling card. My calling in life is, I think I found. I want to. It sounds a bit generic, but I want to help people, provide value. I think we all do in like one way or another. But mostly coaching is what I love to do, and like I love to help people in that way. And through powerlifting coaching is how I do that.
Talk me through your experience with where you are now. Well, how long have you been a coach for? Like PT?
About 4 years. So we had our third birthday, Titan's third birthday, like recently, a few days ago. That was like when I registered the business name. So I was PT beforehand, coaching beforehand. But about 4 years. Yeah.
Wow.
So not long in the big grand scheme of things, but we've grown a lot and it's been a wild ride.
What I want to ask then is just tell me your experience from like year one being a coach, like your first time calling yourself a PT, for example, to where you are now. What's the difference?
Huge difference, man. like the first year when I was calling myself a PT, it was I got a big story, but essentially I left my 9 to 5, completely just quit it. It was probably the most depressing time of my life because I was doing something that I didn't want to do and I just didn't find much joy in it. And thank God I took the leap and I just completely quit and went all in on PT. So I wasn't having any income at that time, but I was studying PT and I was like, you know what, like I love every time I'm off work, like I'm thinking about the gym, you know, it's 4:59, I've got my gym clothes on, like I'm ready to go to the gym, like after my 9 to 5. I just got obsessed with the gym and then I realized like, wow, I'm going to focus on, you know, pursuing this. And then it was a bit of risk. Like I didn't know if I'd love it, but I bet, like I hedged my bets that I would, and it worked out. It worked out. Like the risk played out, but essentially the first year, man, I consider myself as a PT and like a young PT learning. I was being mentored as well, which was cool. So I wasn't completely running my own show. So it was a lot of extra support there, which was great. Going back, I'll do that time and time again. But then compared to now I'd consider myself more as like someone who I think a bit more outside the box now. And I'm not just a coach and just a PT. And I even just not just like a business owner, but I think being more of an entrepreneur, like having that mindset is something that I've been diving into more and more recently. So, you know, collecting more skills and building up a bigger network with people and not just saying I'm a PT or like I'm just a powerlifting coach. Like when I started Titan, it was my goal to be, you know, the one of the best powerlifting coaching services in Australia, and I know that we're making the right steps to get there. I know we're not there yet, but I know we will get there. But I know that's not just my sole purpose in life, but I know it's a huge calling for me in life. It's like I was very happy when like I think a big moment for me was nationals this year when we got our first like national champ, Noel Dixon. He pulled for the win and he won nationals and we took him to worlds, and I realized like, holy shit, like this is huge for us. And like not just me, but I was like as a brand, and I was like, it was just a really special moment. Like I was tearing up in the back. And I was like, wow, like I was in shock. Like I just didn't realize like it was like, I knew it was a possibility, but it was very slim, you know, especially in those, that circumstance. But I was like, wow, okay, like I am reaching my, I guess dream, but more now it's like a vision. Like I know it'll happen. I just got to, you know, put one foot in front of the other, build the team up. And, but like I said, I'm also a business owner, like running a supplement company, e-commerce business that's been, you know, quite fresh. Like I'm only 1 year into that. Like, so I'm still a newbie, but I'm learning so much about, you know, I'm sure you know as yourself, like when you start out as a PT, bro, it's not just about programming, you know. It's like Monday chest day 3x10. Yeah, boss. Like, all right, bro, that'll be $100 an hour. You need to learn how to build rapport with people, like how to sell, like how to build systems, like how to, like what debit system you're going to use, like email marketing, like marketing, you know, how to run Facebook ads. Like I'm learning all these skills and I'm realizing, damn, like you can actually, these skills, you can use them for different things. Like it's not just, which is why I think PT is great because it teaches you, like sales is a big part, right? You're selling every day. Like you're selling every day when you're talking to people, whether you realize that or not.
No matter what, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Man.
Yeah, I can talk a lot, so I don't want to.
No, I like
I'm
it.
trying to. I'm trying my best to not like go on a tangent. You know.
No, it's fine. This is the perfect place to be in a tangent. Yeah. There's actually a lot to take away from what you just said. That's why I write when in guest speak. So I guess the first thing I liked to hear was we mentioned thinking outside the box, right? Yeah. What does it take to actually do that? Do you reckon for a while...
Courage.
Yeah? Do you reckon for a while that thinking outside that box was something that... What will stop you from doing that?
What people think?
Like what stops you from actually having that ability to do such thing?
What people think.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people, including myself, everyone, I think sometimes we put a lot of like value on other people's like view of us and perspective, and we think, oh no, like if I bring up this, it's gonna sound silly, like, or if I do this, like it's gonna be they're gonna think this, or I think if you can like just not care, like that's a superpower. And if you can just be like, you know what, let's try this. It's crazy. It's going to be a risk, but let's do it. And just because like a lot of people don't have the courage to actually think outside the box and be like, oh, you know, have we tried looking into this, or what if there was a product like this out there? Or I think with Loaded Candy, that's something that was definitely something where I thought outside the box, and I was like, fuck it, like just let's give it a go, like full steam ahead, you know, like do you know how to run an e-commerce business? Do you know how to do a website? Do you know how to do Facebook ads? And not, they're just one foot in front of the other, you know, and just, I think like if I didn't have the courage to do that, then it probably wouldn't have been done. I think people just need to like, just
I like it.
have that.
I think it's one thing that I've noticed, I guess. Obviously, me being an observer from the outside, looking how, not even Loaded Candy, just before even Loaded Candy came about, the growth of Titan has been quite, I would say, I'm going to use the word obvious. Like, you can tell that you guys are cooking something. And when you got, like, because obviously it was just you for a while, and then you got, who was your first? Michael. Yeah. When you got Michael, I was like, all right, they're cooking something. Yeah. And then you got Lockie. It's like, oh. Yeah. And then I don't know if are you working with Alyssa as well now? Or?
Yeah. So Alyssa is my mentee. So we have a mentorship like program happening. So it's not really a program. It's like a one-on-one coaching. Like,
yeah. Okay.
So yeah, she's like definitely a part of the team as well, you know. But I appreciate that, man. It means a lot to me, you know, like getting support, even just like small words like that. Like it means a lot to me.
It's a big thing because being in your shoes a couple of times, and you know, when it comes to things outside the box and what people think, bro, like I've been through so much times where like what I'm doing is stupid, or this decision I'm gonna make right now is I'm gonna have a lot of negative.
Yeah, exactly.
Negative, like
feedback, right? It's what people. It's if you're like on an island by yourself, like. You do what you need to do to survive, or even to live, and you wouldn't give up, you know, you wouldn't care. But because we're we're tribal creatures, we're social, like we, you know, it's important to care what people think to a degree, but like at the same time, man, you know, it's for the most part, it restricts a lot of us, like the amount of power we give to other people's opinions.
Yeah, especially especially in the industry and in the environment of fitness, like just fitness, like let alone fitness. And there's powerlifting, there's weightlifting, there's bodybuilding, there's
all these niches.
There's all these niches, and everyone's so like, oh, this one sucks, and then even within those little niches, oh, that coach sucks. It's like, man, it's like we're in the people industry. Yeah, at the end of the day, so whatever decision we're gonna make, it's people aren't gonna like it. It's
so true, and there was this quote, or someone said something like, "Whatever you do in life, you're always gonna have people that are gonna bring you down and be hate on you. Like always, no matter, you can't dude, you can't keep everyone happy. You can't. No. Like you just can't. And I think that's a big difference from where I used to be. Like when I started PT, or even just like growing up into, I guess, a man from a teenager, you know, 18 to 25 now. Like now I kind of care less what people think, and I know whatever I do or whatever my business does or anything, I know like I'm trying to do what's in the best interest for me and my team and my community, but also like I'm not trying to please everyone, you know, because you simply can't accommodate for everyone. It's impossible. You can't. You can try, but you know, a lot of people, I think they sacrifice a bit of themselves to do that.
When was the last time you experienced, I guess, the feeling of, I guess the feeling that, I guess the best way to put it is, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing right now.
Oh man, fucking hell, that's quite You know what? Recently, I haven't had it much because I'm like I know I'm on, you know, I know I'm on the right path that I've created for myself. But when I started, that was like every day. Like it was so much, man. Like I have this saying, it's quite straightforward, but like when you start a business, like be prepared to eat shit for at least 12 months, at least like a minimum. And every day you wake up, you're going, shit, maybe I should just, dude, I have to organize my taxes, my super. I don't know how to do that. Now I got to learn how to do that. I got to hire an accountant. That's another fee, and I got to do that. Is it worth it? I'm just going to get a paycheck. They sort it out for me. And that's why most people don't, right? Most people don't.
Like it seems like a small thing, right? But it's just
they add up.
Responsibility.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like definitely for a long time I was getting paid by someone else to.
Yeah.
And everything's sorted.
Yeah. Easy days. You get your paycheck. That's it.
And I remember the feeling of like, I should just start my own business. But then it's like, but I'm getting super. Once I get paid, that's it. I don't have to move money around. I don't have to talk to my accountant in a couple of months. And I just saw myself as like, this is a fucking cop out. Like deep down, I want to do this thing.
Yeah.
But something as little as
small hurdles, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
And now, even from something as little as like, all right, I got paid, but some of this money isn't all mine, sort of thing.
Don't get me started on that. Yeah, I think this year has been the biggest growth for Titan. Like last year it was me and Michael. This year it's me, Michael, Lockie, Alyssa, Minho. We're building. We've got another mentee most likely coming on next week or the next 2 weeks. So it's like there's a lot of people that rely on me and look up to me, and I got to more admin work for me, and it's like. The money is, that comes in and the growth is great, but you also got to remember, like, it's not yours. That's the business now. And Titan used to be me, but it's no longer me anymore. That was my dream, and that's a big step for us. I don't want Titan to be like, oh yeah, it's Lewis. Like, nah, it's like this community. It's this team, and we have coaches and blah blah blah. That's kind of what I wanted it to be, and that's what it is now. So I'm already
talk me through that. Talk me through that time where Titan was just Lewis, to then, all right, it's not me anymore.
I'll tell you exactly when it was. It was in Croatia. I was on a beach with my partner Ava in her kind of little hometown. It's a beautiful little hometown. And I was just thinking, like, I don't know, I go to Europe probably a bit too much, right? Like, this is one of the benefits of running your own business, I guess, especially coaching. It's, online. It's a huge blessing to be able to travel and work and not be kind of like pinned to a location. That's something that I kind of wanted to work towards, and I have been working towards that. But I made a post, and it was I was in that location. I remember it was like I remember the day I did it, and I was like, in my head it was so dramatic, and as the post sounded a bit, in your head you're always your biggest hater. You're like, oh, this sounds cringe or blah blah blah. But like I remember, I can pull up the post for you. But it was just a post of like Titan, and it's when I created my lifting account, like Lewis, like _ Titan Performance, and I was like, I don't want Titan to be me, because I was posting on Titan my own lifts. Yeah. And I was like, that's not my lifting account. That should be for my clients, my team. It can show a little bit of me, but I want it to be for everyone. Mostly the team. And it was that day where I was like, all right. Like separate them. Like I'm a part of Titan, but it's not just me. And it was literally like I was in Croatia on holiday. I think it was a couple of years ago.
Well, how come? What made you think it's actually bigger than me now?
It's just what I wanted, man, and I knew we'd get there. Like even if it wasn't at the point, like even if I was just bullshitting myself, I was like, that's it. Like this is what it's going to be. Even if it wasn't at that point, which it kind of was. I remember at that point, like we had a community, and we'd always have like this certain day in the gym where my clients would just fucking come to the gym, and it kind of got to the point where I was struggling to train because like I had too many clients around me, and had to I'm much better at setting boundaries these days. But I'm an online coach, so I'm like, dude, like if you got a problem, like just shoot me a message, like obviously if it's anything urgent, like let me know. But like I'm not here, like I don't pay rent at this gym, like I'm not a PT here. I'm here to train. I'm here, and we're training together as training partners. Like I'm not giving you a one-on-one full PT session. It kind of got towards that a couple of years ago to different gym, and it built up so much the community. I was like, this is awesome, because like we're just flocking in and we're creating this atmosphere. Like everyone's pushing each other and supporting each other. But I was like, I also had to protect my own training time as well. Boundaries like is something that I've improved on a lot in the past couple of years. But that's when I was like, okay, it's heading to the stage where I want to be. And now, like looking back, I'm like, wow, like I definitely would be proud like of where I am now. You know, I'm definitely like, I got more to go, like a lot more to go. We have a lot more to go, but I'm super, super proud of, you know, from where I was like 3 years ago.
Me too, bro. I'm
Thank
very
you,
excited.
man. I appreciate you, man. A lot, seriously. Thank you. I know you've been watching from the sidelines the whole time. I know that.
Oh, I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah. Because I know we don't like catch up much.
No,
but I know, I see what you're doing too, and I appreciate it. Like what you're doing, not everyone's like, it's like thinking outside the box, you know.
Yeah.
Doing this stuff, it takes time, you know. There's investment of time there, and you know, a little bit of money too. Not everyone, you know.
And I think the more that you just dig yourself into business and growth, you sort of see other business owners and think, all right, like
Yeah.
you sort of
on
know.
the same wavelength kind of
You
thing.
just know,
You see
right?
it, yeah.
And it's like from like a business owners know, the consumers, they just see what's posted on Instagram.
Yeah. The end result.
And the result, right?
Yeah.
Like say you post something like a reel and then it's like they only see the reel.
Yeah.
But it's like, all right, even just come out with the courage to write up the reel. The
Oh,
script,
dude.
The script.
That was me, like yesterday. I said to Ava was like, "What'd you do today?" Because Ava's work, mate. She's running 2 businesses. She started her own coaching business, and she's doing like almost full time. Like I don't know how she's doing it. I tell her you can't do this forever because you're gonna lose your shit. And I couldn't do it. Like simply, she's a work horse, mate.
Yeah.
But she was like, "What'd you do today?" I was like, "Oh, just admin day. Like lots of programming. You know, did some content creation. Did some like this admin stuff." And I was like, it literally took like I did like the Titan third year birthday thing, and I was like, bro, it took me 1 hour to do. Like, you know why? I had to get every like as many. I couldn't get all the Titan clients in there, but as many of our clients as I could. Try to keep it like high quality, you know, like the videographer spec.
Yeah.
I had to like copy the link, go into Instagram, download the videos, edit them. It's like you said, people don't see that. They don't see that, and even my team might not see that. So, and they just see a reel and they go, yeah, boom, you know, reshare, and then they go on with their day, and it's great. But it's like that shit takes a lot of time in the back end, you know.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. Bro, that's exactly it. Like you go, like say an admin day, that could easily just be like, you can just do this and just like watch Netflix.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. It's right there. It's like
right there.
Yeah.
But then you already know, like if I don't do this,
then you have to do it later in the week. Like it has to be done. Yeah.
It's just like there's a consequence, and it's like as a business owner, you sort of just have to, like, no, you have to just grit your teeth.
Yeah. 100%.
Like an example, last night I got home from work pretty late, and then it's like, all right, I should do this.
You
task.
know you should. Yeah.
I should. And then I was like, all right, back of my mind, someone DM'd me on Instagram about coaching. I was like, yeah, I'll reply to them now. It's like, it's just stuff like that.
You know deep down what you need to do. It's 100% the tasks. Like I was coaching on last Sunday. It was a super long day.
Is it the Alpha? No.
Yeah, at Alpha Athletes. Yeah. I only had 2 guys, but it was a long day, and it was just super muggy inside the gym, and just I think I was in Croatia in the UK for the past 2 weeks. Sorry, 2 months before I came in. It was super cold and rainy there, so I was like, I was getting cooked in there basically. Everyone was though. I shouldn't be complaining. I was coaching, but you know, that poor athletes, bro. But when I got home, it was like I got home late, like really late, and then as soon as I got home, before I got home, we found out news. I don't want to get into too much, but like there was a certain rule that we had to adhere to, and basically it was like a last minute comp that we have to do in a few weeks to adhere to this rule. And 3 of my boys are like on the verge of qualifying for nationals next year for junior nats. And I'm like, all right, this is a situation, like, you know, this has to be a perfect day for you to hit the QT. Do you want to do it? And they're like, yes. Like I'm grateful to have a team that they're just full of passion and energy. Like they're just like, I'll do it. I'll give it my all. And I love that about my team. But because they said that, I had to stay up till like almost 1 a.m. programming for them, and also not just the usual programming. Like as you know, like you're a coach too. Like sometimes there's programs where you can just like you have momentum and you just ride into the next block, and it might be a little bit more efficient in terms of writing up the program. And then the other times it's like you have to just take this whole new approach, and like either you're on a new macro cycle and you have to completely just start something new, like you're doing 8s on SSB and you got to, you know, doing ascending sets and whatnot, like, and then you really got to put some like focus into it. And I knew that, like, I just like, for me, I couldn't sleep knowing that I had to do that, even though it wasn't even kind of, I guess actually it was needed the next day. It was needed the next day anyway. Oh, I guess for some of them, they were starting the week on Tuesday. But for most of them, it was needed the next day. So I was like, that's it, I have to do it. And like Ava was like, oh, just, you know, this time. I was like, I can't. Like, but I also don't want to. Like, I was like, I can't sleep. Sometimes, like, I just can't sleep at night knowing that there's an urgent task that it will affect someone else.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I know, like, I would never name any names, but in the past, like, I know coaches that, like, would have programs be late to their client, and I just think that's the most unprofessional thing ever. And it's a huge thing for me. So, but yeah, just like shit like that, where you're like, you gotta lock in. You just gotta like, even if you had a big day, you know.
That's
but for me, that's nothing, bro. It's like, because I'm comparing everything to that 9 to 5. That was hell for me. For me, it's nothing. Like, I'm like, this is fun. I love doing this, you know.
What made it so bad?
Dude, it was just everything about it. Everything, man. I'm a very free spirit, I think, and I like to do what I want, but I'm not a slack ass, and I get shit done, but it has to be not on my terms, but I enjoy the freedom and the ability to like think and do myself. I'm not like, you know, I can always appreciate some accountability. Like, I'm not a perfect person, but I'm pretty like locked in on my goals, and I'll get shit done for the most part. And I feel like it just like with my 9 to 5, it's funny because it was the most flexible, like easiest job. It was, you know, I did my like 5-year degree and everything, and then like halfway through the degree, I realized like I basically just sat myself down and went, you know what, do you want to do this in the next 5 years? I was like, I don't want to do it for the next 5 days. I was like, okay. And I was in the industry, the construction industry, for 15 months. So I was like, I think I know, you know, I think I know if I like it or not.
There you go.
And that's when I was just like, no.
Wow. Oh, I actually want to talk to you as well about, because you mentioned you traveled for a bit, right? For a big part of this year. Talk me through just, you know, being that ability, right? That gift, the blessing, the privilege to be able to still work and travel. And there's this, I don't know, that comes with also like so many PTs, up and coming PTs want to have that sort of luxury, right? Where I want to be going to Bali and
it's a big thing these days.
Yeah. You've experienced it?
Yeah.
What was it like?
What was it like? I'll tell you exactly what it's like.
Yeah, tell us.
It's a blessing, for sure. Without a doubt, it's a blessing. There is a little bit of... I and my partner experience a little bit of... Like, to dive deep into it, for the most part, I'm very grateful and it's a blessing, like, just as a general answer. But I think if I could find a con with it, it's... You kind of end up... Like, if you're on holiday versus working overseas, they're two different things. And like how I split my holiday up, I was away for a long time, and you know, I was like a part of where I was going was I was there for like to coach at Worlds, and like that was like a week of just like straight work. And then you kind of mix that in with like, okay, sightsee for a day and then work and whatever. And you got to be good at like mixing it up and like switching on and off. Like you can't just like, because obviously 9 to 5, it's like on for 5 days, off, on for 5 days, off. Whereas business owner, you're like on, off, off. Like it's like you just got to learn how to switch it. And that's why I don't think many people can do that. Even me, I struggle with it a lot, man. Like boundaries, I'm just learning now. You know, like as I get a little bit older, I'm like, hey, you got to spend time. You got to make sure you carve out time like you would a meeting, or like you would for this with your partner, like a date night and stuff. You have to do that, otherwise it won't happen. You know, you will just fill up the space with work.
Yeah,
you know, exactly. Like Ava and I got into this thing where it's like, okay, what do we do today? It's raining in Croatia. Like, okay, let's just work for 8 hours, like, and just like get some load of candy stuff done. And then like, you know, we'd both just be like, what have we done today? Just work, you know. So like the first 2 months was very holiday-esque, you know. Went to Mykonos for my 25th birthday. Like it was great, like lots of friends together. Obviously you still gotta work during that time, but that was more so a lot of, that's actually when we released our anabolic apple, our loaded candy flavor, our new flavor. I was like, we're in Mykonos, so like we were doing that shit while we were in Mykonos. Yeah, so it's like you just gotta balance it, man. But I would say for the most part, the first 2 months was like very holiday, and the last 2 months was like just working from overseas. Like we did have like a day or two where we'd go, you know, we'd drive, again, luxury. We could drive to Slovenia. We're 2-3 hours away from Slovenia, from Croatia. Like that's an awesome thing, you know. So huge blessing, and I know why people want to do it. But at the same time, towards the end of it, Ava and I were like, let's just go home because we can work better. We can work better. Like we can be more efficient. We're in our routine. You know, I missed my training a lot. I really miss my training. My training is my structure for the week, and then I kind of work everything around that. I really do prioritize that, you know. And without that routine, it was, you know, it was a little bit hard, but it's a blessing, man.
Yeah, awesome, man. Like, I completely agree. Like, I've only done it a couple of times. I'll be doing it in a couple of weeks, and yeah, it's definitely going to be an experience where you know if you can do it or not, right? And when you mentioned that when you were like just trying to go on off, like for example, I just remember there's this one Instagram story. Both of you are in the airport, and Ava's just doing this.
Oh my god, dude! Like we got to the point where sometimes we're a bit workaholic, and we're just like, bro, need to chill out. Like we got to a point where our flight got delayed for 7 or 8 hours, and we actually were like high five each other, and we're like, let's work, like, and then we're like, this is bad, let's go home, like because we got excited because like, you know, like we had extra time to just get some shit done. And to be fair, it's like there's different types of work, which I'm sure you're aware of. Like there's this awesome thing that I learned from Jay from the e-commerce equation. That's where I learned how to do my Facebook ads. It was like a graph, and it was like impact versus urgency. And there's tasks in a business that are urgent and don't have much impact. Me responding to clients, or I guess that does have a lot of impact, but like in terms of maybe impact on the growth of the business, it's urgent and needs to be done because that's the bare minimum. Like we offer 24/7 communication, or 24-hour communication. So like responding to clients, getting programs, that is the bare minimum. Like you're not actually doing anything to grow the business. I think a lot of people don't realize that. They're like, oh bro, I did so much work today, you know, feet up. It's like, but what did you do to grow the business? It's like, I just wrote a few programs. Like, is that getting more clients in? Is that upskilling yourself? It's like, no, it's not. You know, so it's like, to be fair on us, we spent a lot of time growing and looking at like product development for Loaded Candy. We've got a new product coming next year. So that was a lot of low urgent, high impact tasks which grow the business, you know. So no one's forcing us to do that except us. So you can't really, it's hard to resent it when it's like it's coming from yourself. And it's like, I think the beauty of being a business owner is like, if you need to slow down, just slow down. Like you are your own boss. Listen to yourself. Like if you like the candle's burned out both ends, it's your fault. But you need to recognize it and go, okay, where can I look at my week and give myself, you know what? I'm gonna give myself a bit of a Netflix time for these 2 hours on this day. I need to chill the fuck out. Like I need to relax a bit. You can do that.
You can actually do that. I think the more experience you go through it, and yet I think awareness is the biggest thing about it. Yeah. Is when you know that, you know, I need to chill out, and actually I've earned it. Give myself an hour, give myself an episode, then I go back into it. Yeah. And just having that power to just like, all right, that's it. Go back to work now.
It's freedom, man. That in my opinion, it's freedom.
That's exactly
for me.
Exactly, that's freedom. And actually, I feel like I've seen this quite a bit. Not with you, but I've seen it with other business owners where they don't know the difference between the growth, or is it growth or impact? Well, whatever. It's like,
urgency and impact.
Let's say you're doing. Look, as much as you are serving clients and it helps the business, in terms of growing the business,
it's a bare minimum. Like it's a promise. Like if I coach you for powerlifting and I shake your hand, I take your money weekly. That's the bare minimum. That I write your program, I support you, I look at your lifts, I give you technical feedback. That's not. it's not really growing the business. It's just it's servicing the client, and it's definitely a task that takes time, and it is urgent, and it does have impact. But in terms of impact for the growth of the business, that's like a separate thing.
And it's wild, bro. Because just imagine Lewis at a first year of being a PT. Before that was growth, right?
Yeah.
Like you meet a client, do a session, like this is growing my business.
Yeah.
And
And
then you fast forward to now, and it's like
that's bare minimum.
this is bare minimum.
Yeah, literally, it actually is. Yeah, like you do like it really is. It really is.
Actually, then I actually want to talk about. You mentioned your coaching for Worlds.
Yeah.
International level coaching.
Yeah.
What did it teach you?
It was such an experience, man. It was so cool. The juniors are strong as fuck. That's what it taught me. That's what it taught me. And it taught me that powerlifting is growing, and that the pool of talent is getting bigger and bigger. The sport is just growing. It taught me a lot in terms of getting my athlete like ready for an international level competition preparation. I think there were a lot of things in terms of my own athlete. Like we took Noah to Malta, and I coached him. And he didn't have the greatest day due to the fact that he had pneumonia. So he was competing with pneumonia. So it's like, I hate to, don't want to use it as a cop out, but it's like the body can only give so much. And I've been coaching him for like a year now, and he was very upset after his performance, and like we were both kind of upset, but we both knew and only later on we realized that he went home to Australia. The doctor said, "Dude, you still have pneumonia," and it was like for 3 or 4 weeks or something. And he was like, because he was coughing, he looked like a ghost when he got there, and I was gaslighting him. Obviously, I'm not gonna say, because he came all this way. It's a lot of money, man. It's a lot of commitment. I'm not gonna say you look like shit. Are you sick? Like I knew that. But I was like in my head thinking, this is not good. But that's part of the game, He's been working with me for like a year, and he's gone from just doing a qualifier to putting on like 100 kilos in his total, like winning nats. Like it was like the perfect ride up to Worlds, and I'm like, dude, you're guaranteed to have a shit day. Like it just, whether it's your whatever it is, execution, sickness, it's gonna happen. Biggest thing I learned from that is probably, and there were a few decisions that I made that I was like, okay, like I'd rather do this, and because I knew, for instance, his deadlift, Noah's, he's known for his deadlift. He's quite strong overall, but his deadlift is his thing. And he did 290 for his second, didn't move. What? 290 for his second, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's so strong. And keep in mind, he's 19 years old, first year junior, first year. So he was a sub junior last year. So first year junior, he came in, he won nats, he shocked everyone, pulled from 7th to 1st. I don't think we've seen that in powerlifting.
I remember seeing that story.
Dude, it's like that moment was so special for all of us. And Noah's, I just remember his puppy eyes thinking, he was like, did I just win? I was like, wow, it's that for me, that's the most memorable moment in my whole career.
Wow.
I don't think we've seen a 7th to 1st pool like that in powerlifting Australia. I really don't, at least from what I've seen. I've been in the game for too long, but it was a huge upset. No one saw it coming. I even heard a lot of people doubt him and say, "Oh, who's this TikTok kid? Not hitting depth and doing this." And so it was a huge underdog story for us. It was a perfect day, 9 for 9. The stars aligned on that day. Whereas Worlds was a completely different experience. It wasn't like that. But he pulled 290, and I was like, okay, I know you've got he pulled 308 at Nats, and with room in the tank, maybe 2.5, 5 kilos. And being how Noah's a very ambitious and young, driven man, which I love. But sometimes it's too much, and I have to pull him back. I have to, and it worked well. That kind of dynamic we have works well. But I knew he only had maybe 300, 297 on the day, which is still first Worlds, travel, sick as fuck. It still would have been great, but I knew that in my heart, I knew he still would be upset with that, because it's but I've hit 308, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I think in the past, I would have maybe changed my decision. I would have loaded 300 just to solidify on the day, end on a high note. But But I loaded 310 because I was like, oh, it's a 2 kilo PB. In my head, I knew it was like 50-50. I knew like it was like, okay. But I also knew that like, even if we did 300, he'd be upset. He'd be like, oh, what, you know. So it was a hard thing. I think the biggest thing with Noah in particular is like working on his mindset. And I think like answering your question, what I learned was like a lot of people that went to Worlds, you're lucky to even match your total on your best day. Like, you know what I mean? Like unless you've had the most crazy training, even then, like hitting just a 5 kilo PB, total PB at Worlds is an achievement, man. Especially if you're in like top 10, top 5, like that's crazy. So I think pulling a lot of people back is and taking into account the humidity, the change of food and water, the water cut, like how bad they had to cut. Like I tried to get Noah to drink lots of water while I was up in the air, and it worked well because if you don't drink too much, your body just retains it up there, especially with the altitude and the humidity. Everything's just different. It just throws you off, man. Yeah. The plain food, it's extra salty. Asking for diabetic meals, getting the aisle seat so you can piss easily. Like small things that I told him that did help a lot. But at the end of the day, dude, he had pneumonia. Like, well, like I really think the programming was great into it because it was quite similar to Nat's. And he was feeling good, but there's only so much the body can do.
Yeah, from that story, it just seems like a lot of the job does involve you, not just like this is where it's not really coach for programming anymore. It's like you're here just to tell this person like how to think.
Mindset, preparation,
and like that's a good example when you said like, oh yeah, you loaded like 300 or 310, sorry. Yeah. But knowing that like, you probably won't get this.
Yeah. I knew it was 50-50. I knew it.
Like I've been to that extent where, I'm pulling to place or anything, but I know when the client wants to get a certain number on a day.
Yeah.
And I see the second attempt.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think we're going to get it.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, how was that? It's like, let's go for it.
Yeah. In the back of your head. No, the thing with it's 100% what like I have. This is what I teach with my coaches. Like we have two main goals when you're looking at coaching an athlete on game day. It's hit PBs or maximize placing. That's it. To generalize. And for Noah, at that point, pulling 300 or pulling 297 or 295, which I knew he would have had, it would have taken him from, the placing difference would be negligible. So that's why I was like, fuck it, let's just give it a crack. I know he'd be even probably more upset if we didn't give it a crack. Yeah. But if it was like if he was like top 5 and he was, gonna lose 2 places if we missed that, then I would have probably made a different decision. Yeah, so I think that's really good to talk on placing, especially at nationals. Even at nationals, he said to me going in, he's like, I want to win. He had that he actually had the goal of winning. And every time I put no pressure on him. I said, you know what, man, I'm going to rank you the best I can. These guys on paper are stronger than you, but if there's mistakes, we can capitalize. And that's exactly what we did, and he won. Right? But I said to him, for this next Nats, I was like, dude, you can't just rely on that. We got to get stronger. We got to build into this. And he knows that. But I'm like, just so you know, on that day, the stars aligned. Everything worked out in our favor that day, and we capitalized, and that's it. You know what I mean? It's not the strongest on the day that wins. It's the smartest and the one that doesn't make mistakes.
Yeah, man. I love that. Yeah. I love that. Now, this job does entail a lot of you're dealing with human beings, right?
Yeah.
Now, on the other side of it, Loaded Candy, very different brain from what
so different.
Well, how's your brain think in regards to the impact and growth? What's the bare minimum for Loaded Candy?
Oh my god, that's all growth work, man. It's all it's all growth. I actually would say there's more bare minimum to do with Titan because it's obviously more established.
Yeah.
But with Loaded Candy, I guess that's a positive of an e-commerce business, right? Like an online store. So you have Titan, which is service based, and you have Loaded Candy, which is goods based. It's different learning lessons. Obviously you need to learn still people business, learning customer buying behavior and how you can provide value to customers and the market that you're in. But it's largely like, um, there's so many hats you have to wear, man.
Yeah.
There's,
yeah.
and I think something that we're doing now is we're building, I think building a team around you, whatever you do, like building a network and a team around you that you can feed off each other, you both win, you can help each other out is like absolute key. Like I have one of my clients that I coach, he actually coaches us with marketing for Loaded Candy, which is really cool. And he's a big help, man. He helps us get set up for Black Friday, helps us like optimize our ads and stuff like that. So not being afraid to like invest that money. I think the biggest difference is finances, because like service-based, it doesn't cost you anything, bro. Online coaching, what does it cost you?
Just time, man.
That's the best thing about it, right? I'd say service-based business way easier to start, like without a doubt. Like you just need skills and time. Whereas goods-based, you need money, man. You need money. You need like capital to like even like getting stock. Like if I buy like 30K worth of stock, that's like I'm down 30K until it gets here, and that's like it takes months for them to make it, and then so it's like it's very different, different.
I'm actually again obviously because now you're going through it. I'm actually starting to go through the e-commerce space now, and
Nice.
like even like cause I want to get into clothing and
Nice.
buying samples of clothing.
Oh god, I'm not jealous of you, man. Clothing. The thing with clothing is the sizing difference and like the
difference, exactly.
Yeah, like but I'm not trying to discourage you. Do it, bro. Like fucking oath. Like it's.
That's the thing. Like it's very easy to discourage, but I know you.
It's very easy. Yeah.
Like, and I remember getting my first sample. I was like, this is not the like.
Oh, bro, it won't. The first one will never be the one.
It's like, all right, look, this is fun.
You need to know what you don't like.
Yeah. So we got it, and then we got the second one. It's like, this is not a large. This is an XL. Easily an XL. Yeah. Right. And then we're like, can you try the shirt on? Can you try the shirt on? It's just like, this is not the one. This is not the one. Then and then we're like, all right, we've got to put more money into it. And it's just like you said, like you need money.
Yeah.
And it's
You do.
like comparing it to like coaching or PT, it's like you just need to maybe grit your teeth a little bit harder.
Literally.
But when it comes to e-commerce, it's like, all right, how much do I have in my wallet? It's like, oh, okay.
And how much are you willing to invest and risk in yourself?
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
I think it's a very humbling space to be in, especially after being in service-based.
Yeah, I do.
The e-commerce space. So
Completely different.
I reckon it's wild. And I wanted to talk to you because now that you've done both, I guess, what have you learned about this, I guess, being a businessman, like being a business person, like now you're being in both spaces now. What's the biggest thing about, I guess, if you were to describe your experience right now with business,
Business in general.
Just in business in general.
I've learned so many things, man. It's hard to summarize it. But I think the biggest thing I've learned, like, and the most importance you want to place on is building relationships and networking. Like, even with goods-based, like, still the same thing.
Yeah, I agree.
I think even more so than that is, other than having a product that is, quality, like a good quality coaching service, and then, a good quality pre-workout gummy, whatever it is, you need to market to people in a way that is, dude, everyone, like, it's like, I'm sure when you started, I'm sure people right now are telling you clothing, e-com saturated, well, it is, but like, so is coaching. Everyone's a coach these days. Yeah. Some 16-year-old kid pulling 300, coach, online coach. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? Like, everyone, it's like, you need to learn how to, like, figure out a way how to stand out and be personal, especially with like coaching, I guess. But even with e-commerce, like, how are you going to stand out is the biggest thing. And marketing is everything, man. Like, I was just talking to a friend last night about this, actually. Like, having a quality product is one thing, and you definitely need that, right? You definitely need a quality product or service that you're giving to the customer. But if you have the best microphones in the world, but no one knows you exist, you cannot run a business. Like, you won't make money, and that's what a business is about. That's the fundamental, reason of having it needs to bring in money to be able to service more clients and provide more value. So, like, marketing is Loaded Candy especially taught me, I mean, Titan, like, I've obviously, like, marketed, but, like, LC taught me, like, holy shit, like, marketing is so much bigger than I thought. And that's why I was like, like doing that course on Facebook ads was so key. Like investing that money and learning that was key because you learn about like buying habits from customers and like how to like just putting yourself in their shoes. Because I'm not really a consumer, to be honest. Like I don't buy shit for myself. I'm pretty dude. Like everything I wear, like Ava buys me, you know, or my mum or something. Like so it's actually really good for me because I can put myself in the consumer's like point of view and be like, okay, like what would I want to buy, or like what sale when would I, you know what I mean? And that's like been a huge learning lesson. And marketing is everything, man. Like marketing to be known is key. Right? Influence is everything. Attention is everything these days.
I've learned that a lot. It's just, especially with the e-commerce and I guess marketing for like the e-commerce space versus marketing for your own servicing business. It's very different.
It's so different.
Like you're obviously, especially when you're.
It's less it is a bit less personable, but I get maybe you should make it more personal. I think I'm seeing a little bit of a shift in. Like for instance, like 5-10 years ago, if you start a clothing company and you just put up a Facebook ad of the product, you'll do well. You'll kill it. You'll kill it. Now, you have 15-year-old kids that are doing the same thing. It's saturated. Everyone's doing it. So you have to stand out. So I think what our marketing guys teaching me and what I'm learning a lot from even the content I'm consuming is like founder-led marketing is starting to kill it. So even myself, like I'm starting to put my face out there more, you know, get comfortable in front of cameras more because a lot of people aren't, right? Like talking to the camera, like that's like skills you gotta build up. And I think that content is starting to take over and again, I think that's actually kind of like leading more towards the coaching side of things, which is like, even though you're selling a product and it's e-com, people want to know you're a person, bro. They don't want to buy from a company. They want to buy from like a story and a vision, you know, like they want to see the people behind it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So I'm seeing that recently.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I've noticed it with Low Candy. I see you guys' faces a lot more.
I'm trying, man.
It's cool, man.
Yeah.
All right. Actually, let's get into this. I'm going to get the gummies out, actually.
Yeah, let's go. Actually, I wouldn't mind a couple. All right. I slept well, but... I don't know, they taste good.
I've never tasted this one, so I'm keen to...
Live reaction.
Yeah, live reaction. The anabolic apple. Man, it must take just... That feeling when you taste it and like, this is it.
Yeah.
Like, well, it must be crazy. That strawberry one?
Yeah.
Far out.
Yeah. Strawberry's the OG, man. But I think you'll like this. I think you'll like it. It probably wakes you... It's almost like ammonia, bro. Like, it wakes you up.
Bro, that's good.
Yeah, it's boss. Actually, it has stand up, so we can. There you go.
That is good.
That
is good. That is very nice.
ASMR right here.
I actually like it a lot more than
Strawberry.
I like apple.
Yeah,
like any apple flavor.
It's like sour green apple. Yeah, it's a crazy flavor. I think it's hard, man. I think it's my favorite for now. But strawberry is like the OG. It's our first flavor, and it's strawberry. You can't go wrong with strawberry. But I think that at the moment is, dude. These gummies, like, it's a pre-workout gummy, but it's also like a productivity gummy. Like, I feel if I have a couple of these when I'm programming, it just helps me lock in. You know, it's got L-tyrosine in it, which really helps you focus. Yeah.
Wow.
So I like just microdosing with these all the time. Yeah, man. I think the biggest something that I guess is really cool with Good Space if you build something yourself, like your own shirt, your own hoodie, whatever, or your own gummy, like all the time you put like, bro, all this stuff, like we've invested thousands of dollars in graphic design and everything, and like when you have the product in front of you, like when we first got it, it's just so surreal. It's like the coolest thing ever, and like I said, we're in the process now of getting our new product out for next year, which I can't tell the people what it is, but it's going to be really cool, and I'm really excited.
Cool, man.
Yeah,
it's exciting.
Yeah, man. It's just a product that kind of solved my needs, to be fair, and that's why I was like, I'm sure other people have the same issue, and obviously I've done research, otherwise I wouldn't invest so much into it. So that's kind of where it came from. You know, I was like, I was just like, dude, I hate taking pre-workout. I hate shitting myself. I hate feeling tingles. Like, it actually doesn't benefit my performance whatsoever. Like, I'd rather just have a coffee, or I'd rather just have like I was like thinking about lollies, like carbs, and I thought, fuck, imagine if there were like caffeine lollies. I know there's like caffeine tablets, but it's not fun. Like, have something fun where you can, and tasty and enjoyable. I think the biggest thing for loaded supplements as a business is bridging the gap of taste and convenience with quality. So like so many products are like, quality. All right, you have creatine powder, you have protein powder, but does it taste good? Nah, tastes like shit. Is it convenient to have? Nah, you gotta bring powder on a plane and you gotta mix it up in this shaker and add water. It's like, dude,
This is definitely travel friendly.
yeah,
100%. And I think one thing that stands out is I love these characters.
yeah.
That's the fun part.
Big part of our branding. It was like
Yeah.
the colors, the characters, the vibrant type of design.
And I remember trying, like this is before Loaded Candy was around. I tried these caffeine gummies.
Oh yeah,
It was I think it was by Body Science maybe, or doesn't matter.
yeah,
It was from Coles or Woolies.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
tried it. I was like, this is disgusting.
dude. That's the thing. Like taste is so important, and
Yeah.
convenience. All right, it's a gummy, but like if it tastes like shit, why would you have it?
I wouldn't want to buy it.
Exactly.
And then when I remember tasting strawberry, it's like no way.
Almost like yeah. It's like it gets you excited, and it's
Yeah.
also like a bit of a sweet treat. It like hits the sweet tooth a little bit, and it's like low calories,
Yeah.
So it's like it's a nice little
Yeah, it's good, bro.
sweet kick.
All right, let's
get
get
into
into this
it.
now. Let's get into this. You can draw the card first and ask me a question,
Okay.
and then you can do one for you.
All right,
All right.
it's gonna be super deep.
I don't know. Some are very deep. Some are very simple.
Okay. I don't want the. Okay. All right. Do I ask you first or let you draw?
Yeah.
Okay. Do uncomfortable situations bring the best or worst out of you? Oh, I think that's pretty simple, to be honest.
That's pretty simple.
What do you think?
I reckon I'll try and make it deep, right? So, uncomfortable situations. I don't think we'll ever like going through it. I think at the time it takes a long time for us to understand that it is good for good. I think
Yeah.
that's what makes
Delayed.
it hard. I think that's what makes it hard.
Yeah.
That I guess perception where you think, no, I don't want to do this, but
Why
that could be a year. And for you, for example, it could have been that time where that 15 months in the construction. It's like you're uncomfortable, but it's an uncomfortable that you don't like.
Yeah.
And it had to take you to a point where it's like, all right, well, I don't even know if I'm going to be good at this PT sort of thing.
But I need to change.
I need to change it.
Yeah, I have to.
So I think it's obviously it's bad at the start, but it's actually really good
100%.
for you. So I've been through many uncomfortable situations this year, last year, and there are times where I just think I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, and yeah, looking back at it, it's like, oh, that's it. That's all it was. It was just another season.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Season, I like that.
I think I didn't want to answer it too simply. But
Yeah. 100%. Like it's the answer is, it brings out the best in you. Eventually, it brings out the best in you. Not instantly. I think instantly sometimes it can bring out the worst in you.
Yeah,
I think it's
exactly.
like it's a bit of
Instantly.
both. Both,
Yeah.
I think, is the answer. Yeah. I think a big, everyone talks about canon event. That's like an online term. It's basically that, man.
Yeah.
Like it's like a catalyst to change.
Yeah.
Like I think there's this stupid thing called like region beta paradox or something fucking crazy. It's that. It's like when you go through something so devastating and so shit that it forces a change for better.
Yeah.
Whereas the alternative was just stagnancy, like pure just
Exactly.
idling and just being like, that's my worst fear in life. So like
Me too.
sometimes I'd rather just eat shit and then be like wake up and just like make a change.
You sort of have to go through that I think to get to this point, you have to be here first.
Yeah.
Because if you just here, you wouldn't even know what's up there.
Dude,
or down
I
there.
know so many people like in my life that are just here and they're happy and they're comfortable. And I'm like, I don't resonate with that at all. But like, and I appreciate that. Like no one, like, I'm not trying to be like, I think sometimes my partner's like, bro, like sometimes I have a habit of like trying to make everyone around me business owners or like entrepreneurs, like trying to force them into like, do what I want to do as well, like do your own thing, like whatever. But not everyone wants to do that. And I guess you can't force it because it needs to come from within and you need to have that event where you're like, oh, like this isn't what I want to do or whatever, So yeah, it's a good card. I like that.
You're a funny guy, bro.
It's a good card. What you got for me? You probably know all of these cards, surely.
These are new.
Ah,
Yeah,
how many
so-
volumes are there? Like, is this
So there's-
level 2? So
Level 2. So volume 1, I know basically all the questions. These ones I don't know all.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, this is pretty deep.
Oh. That's sigh at the end of it.
This is very deep.
Go on.
Who is someone you need to forgive and have not?
Have not? Oh, myself. Oh man, I'm a pretty forgiving person, man. I am. That's pretty deep question. What do you think about it for a bit? Yeah, that's quite deep. I don't really. Yeah,
I'll do a different one.
that is hard.
Okay.
I'm pretty. Yeah, I don't really. I'm quite forgiving, man.
I'll do a different one.
Yeah.
Tell me something you have never told anyone before.
Ooh. Oh. Well, now I'm telling a lot of people. Average Joe podcast listeners, they're gonna know all my secrets now.
Doesn't have to be a secret. It could be a fun fact. Could be-
Average Joe is such a cool name, by the way.
Oh,
Average
thank
Joe
you.
Radio. I love it. I love what you've been doing, man, with the podcast.
bro.
I got questions for you, man. I wanna if you
Really?
have time, yeah, I'd like to. But anyway, what was the question? So, tell me something that no one knows. Tell you something that no one knows.
No one knows. Doesn't have to be too deep. There's something that no one knows about you, or not ever. You seem like a very open guy.
I'm very open. I think.
Can you think of a time when you were like quote unquote eating shit?
Yeah, man, that's what I'm thinking of now. I think that's a good question
Yeah.
to like get me into this because it's a deep one. It's something that I can't just think of on the spot. But I think a lot of people. I think I'm quite like I said, I'm quite an open guy. I'm relatively smiley and I try to give energy out as much as I can. Like I'm not the most crazy enthusiastic person, but I think I'm not bad. I have my moments, like especially. You're a PT, like bro, like with the social battery. Sometimes you want to go home, stare at the wall for like 3 hours, but you know, bro. See, we've been on the sidelines, but I know. It's so true. But I think a big I don't know. I think not many. I don't think it's a no one because people that are close to me know this, but you definitely wouldn't know this. Like when I was younger, I grew up in a household with like an abusive stepfather, and even before that, like my biological father left. So again, this is deep, but I have no issues with like talking about this. And that definitely impacted me as a young boy, and it it was a rough time, man. Like especially leading all the way up until high school. I always talk to my partner Ava about this. Like when I was like 17, worst time of my life, like without a doubt. Like 16, 17, worst time of my life completely. I don't want to get into it too deep, but yeah, it was like not a good time of my life. And I think a lot of people see the Lewis now and they're like, oh, I mean, I'd hope people would like to think, oh, like Titan's growing. It looks like he's doing what he wants to do and he's successful and he's able to do this and that and whatever. But a lot of people don't see. I guess that's kind of leads from the question we were speaking about before, like uncomfortable like situations, and it was I don't know. It's just the part, but it's something that I don't really let. It's like me almost like. I think that's also going back to the forgiveness question too. Like it's all related a bit, but
it is.
Yeah. But it's like I forgive and like I don't hold grudges and like life happens and just shit is just out of your control sometimes. And when sometimes you just have to step out of it, and it's like the biggest learning lesson for me recently in the past couple of years. I've learned a lot about like energies. Energies is a huge thing, and I'm pretty good at sniffing out energy. I think, if anything, it was a horrible time of like, I didn't have a horrible childhood at all. Like it was that part was quite shit. But I had like thank God I have my mum. She is literally like a trooper, an angel. Like I'm the way I am because of her. And she's like basically raised 3 boys on her own, like me and my brothers. And like I didn't have a horrible childhood, like at all, like, definitely not. But like just that part of the childhood was impacted me a little bit, and like was negative energy, for me and like the family and stuff. But I've realized, like I was saying, like recently, energies are huge, and you just have to step away from that. And you know, I place a lot of importance on my friends. My friends mean a lot to me because unfortunately you can't choose your family, and sometimes your family betrays you. Sometimes your own blood can, you know, betray you. And unfortunately, as shit as like that sounds, I don't want it to be like, oh, poor me, whatever. It's like you just need to surround yourself with people that are going to like support you and push you and bring out the best in you, and you will do the same for them. That's it. And whether you're partners, friends, family, whatever, like I don't really care if you're super close family to me, but if you treat me like shit, I'm not gonna respect that, and I'm gonna tell you to fuck off. Like I will. I don't really care. Like I think a lot of people in society and like especially I guess maybe if it's like religion or race, they're like, nah, man, your family, like they can treat you like shit. You know, you just gotta cop it. Like it's like, no, man, that ruins lives. Like it's the energies around you dictates your life. You know, like your frequency. I didn't know. I actually didn't. I thought my mum was just completely just bullshitting me. Like, mum's a psychologist, very smart woman. She runs her own business, so I think it's like in the blood. But my mum was talking to me about energies, and she's like, everything has energy. You know, this is vibrating at a certain frequency. I go, what on about, mum? You know, whatever. And then, you know, I actually learned it. I actually look at some studies, some actual like literature, and it's true. Like everything has a certain energy and a frequency that it vibrates at. Even, you know, inanimate objects, like even people, and certain feelings have energies. And that's when I was like, holy shit! Like you can, like whatever is going on here is just, that's gonna happen. That's gonna be your reality.
It's just literally just words.
Yeah, literally. And then I was like, okay, if I'm constantly thinking about, oh, poor me, or this is the situation at home, and you know, I'm doing everything as a distraction to get away from this, and I constantly think about that, then that's all, I'm going to be stuck there, and that's going to be my reality. Whereas if I focus on my friends and focus on, it's funny because that when I was 17, that's when I met Ava. She was a big part of my, like, you know, she still is obviously a huge part of my life, but like when I met her, that was like huge, good energy in my life that like took me away from that. So I think a lot of people nowadays don't know that about me. I think that's the question. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't know that. I guess whoever's listening knows now, but
love it.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not.
Huge,
it's everything, man.
I was the
it's
same.
everything.
Actually, my girlfriend was the one that talked to me about energies. And it's like, this is one's just it's vibrating like right now, blah blah blah. And then at first I was like, what? And then obviously I look into it a little bit more. I read books about it. You watch Oppenheimer, and it's just like,
I gotta watch that. I haven't watched it.
That's what it's about, bro.
Oh, dude, let's go. I'm keen to watch it.
That's what it's about.
It's true though. Like I thought it was complete just garbage. Like I didn't, but like if you don't take the time to look into it, you can't say it's garbage. You have to actually, you know. But again, when you're a kid, you don't care. Mum, whatever, mum, you know, whatever. But then we all realize mum's right, you know, for the most part. Like once I learned the highest level of energy is authenticity, it's being yourself. That's when I was like, that's what I'm going to do. Like if I can think something, why not think like I'm being myself and actually just be myself, and I'll have a better life. You know, that's another thing I think I wanted to talk about. Like I was talking to a friend recently about, there was this palliative care nurse that wrote a book and was like fucking top 5 dying regrets. Like a little bit, you know, deep. I guess this is deep anyway, so it's nothing. But the first one was like not being yourself. Like that, I would hate to be like on my deathbed, just be like, damn, man, I tried to please everyone. I wasn't myself. Like that was a shit life. Like people die like that. People actually die like that. And it's like, I would hate for my friends to die like that. Hate for me to die like that. Like that's not, so that's why everyone around me, I encourage them to just be themselves, have good energy. And whenever I have shit energy around me, I'm just like, I'm very, very onto it. Like I'm like a radar of energy now because I'm so aware of it. And my mum used to be really good at that, and now I kind of get like why. And I think, again, like the opposite end of that spectrum, like one of the lowest vibrating frequencies is like shame and guilt, right? And a lot of cultures revolve around that, and a lot of people and families revolve around that. And it's like they think that it's a good thing and it's motivating, but it's really the lowest level of energy and thing you can give to someone and have around you. So I think just like that, learning about that and like growing and just growing up through life, like got me out of that, like,
I guess really the
environment.
The understanding of it really just helps you shape the way you live your life, like as a business owner, as a partner, as maybe one day you're gonna be a father, like things like that, man.
100%, man.
It's gonna make the difference, knowing like, all right, the energy I'm gonna put into this relationship or into this childhood is so important.
Yeah, it is.
Business, so
how you show up every day, man. Just even like when you shake someone's hand. If you shake someone's hand, you just kind of, it's like you could feel that straight away. No, seriously, seriously. I'm sorry, but like you like, and you know what? Sometimes you're having a shit day. Sometimes you don't have much energy to give, and that's okay, and that's life. But there are people, and I'm sure you can think of like the first person, like in our lives that we know probably don't add energy, and they probably take energy from us. And that's why it's like having the right people around you is so important.
Man.
And that's why I think that's with Titan, I wanted to create a business that had a community with high energy. Everyone's supportive. There's no bullshit. There's no bringing each other down, and we all just thrive. So that's like bringing that into business is something that I wanted to do.
Fuck yeah, so I love it.
That's what it's all about.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, got some closing questions for you.
Awesome.
Easy ones. If you were to have a food, 0 calories, 0 repercussions, what would you choose?
0 calories, 0 repercussions. Probably whatever has super high calories, like burgers or pizza or something. Yeah, I'm not really I guess I love food, but I'm not like a crazy foodie. Not crazy. I think Ava's turned me into one a little bit.
Yeah, same as my girlfriend.
Yeah, they always do. Bro.
Yeah, bro, I'm sweet with whatever. Then sardine, like
I know.
date nights and
and then you go out. Hey, Yochi's pretty good. I've been onto that quite a bit. Yochi's such a good business. Again, dude. So now I'm like, the way I look, like I'm going as a consumer and I'm thinking, how would they market this and how would they create this and like, oh, this is a great business model because like they only have 2 employees, one to refill and one to greet to greet customers. It's like, bro, great business model, self-serve, easy going, low. And I'm like, why am I like this? Like, just, but it's a good thing. It's fun. It makes me think more,
that's that's how I am a campaign.
You got to think. That's thinking, I guess,
Yeah, that's funny.
You don't want to just be like on standby, just being that's the thing, 9 to 5, I was a bot, man. Like I was just like, I was, having my break, going to the gym, sleeping, waking up, doing tasks, doing what I was told. I wasn't thinking for myself. I didn't have goals. I didn't have aspirations of like, let's do this. And that's why it suppressed me. It suppressed my energy. There you go. You can say that.
I love it, bro. I love it.
Yeah.
If you had 100 mil and you had to spend it in one day, how would you spend it?
Spend it in one day.
Yeah, one day.
That's crazy. I'd probably invest in a lot of property, build some generational wealth for my kids, because that's a lot of money. Yeah. Don't want to be too selfish. But then I'd probably buy buy a nice car, nice house for myself. Probably can't even do that in one day, but you can try. I'm sure if you had money, you could pay other people to do it for you, right?
Exactly.
Definitely build my own gym, my dream gym, for myself and my clients. I'd probably do those things. Just invest it, bro. Because I think I've learned a lot about money in the past. Running a couple of businesses, and money is money. It's perceived value, man. It's not really real.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not like back in the day where it's like, hey, this is actual gold. Like this, if this holds value, it's like, dude, this is a $10 note. Like you can rip it. I mean, in Australia it's laminated, but like in the US and that whatever, it's you can just rip it. Like it's just paper. They print more of it. Where's the actual value? You're trading it for things that have value, like food, like property. So I think holding your money in like things that hold value is something that I would do straight away. But it's probably a bit of a boring answer. But I'd buy myself shit too. I'd get a nice car. I don't know, Lambo, fucking whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really in that mindset now because I'm more in I drive a little shitbox A to B, bro. I don't care. Like I'm focusing on building my future. I'm not trying to treat myself right now, so I'm not in that mindset. But maybe if you ask me in 10 years, I might have a different answer.
Would you rather die right now or live forever?
I'd fucking die right now, bro. I'm not living forever, bro. That'd be horrible. Yeah, living forever, like as in like you'd see all of your loved ones die. That's like worse pain than dying.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't, I'm assuming that would be, and you'd see the world burn.
Yeah.
Mate, nukes are coming soon, bro. It's already fucked. Like you'd see that, and you'd just be sitting there alone. Like, I don't think, even though dying right now is horrible as well, it's like it's probably a little bit less horrible than.
Well, I guess there you go. That answers for the way you live your life right now.
Yeah.
Is knowing that you're living your most authentic self.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like, oh, I'm happy to like.
That's so true.
If you have to choose,
that's
I'll
so
die
true.
right now.
Yeah.
Because you are living your most authentic self.
Yeah, yeah. I am now for sure. I wasn't always, but like.
I think I'm the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a point where someone will think like, all right. And I reckon there is something more than what we're doing now as well. But as of right now, in this present time, I feel like we are living in it.
Yeah.
But who knows? Ask that question maybe a year later. It's like, oh, mate, I wasn't really living my authentic self then. Yeah. But yeah, you'll know. You just gotta be present day by day.
100%. You got to be present. You just got to show up day by day, and not. I think a big thing I do is I live in the future, and I'm always planning ahead, and I forget to just soak in where I am now, and also like just look at like what I was saying before. Like, hey, you know what? 3 years ago, I'd be proud of myself. Exactly. Now, and it's funny. I just saw a little podcast like clip from Chris Williamson. Is it? He's great. It was like him and what's his name? That guy. That guy. He was like, I'd have a beer with myself, and I was like, even though I don't drink beer, but like I know, you know what they're saying, and I was like, what, I would too. And I think if you get to that level, like stage where you're happy and you're happy with yourself, and you're not a shit person, and like even where you are in life, I think that's like getting to that is. It's not the be all end all. Like it's not like you've completed life, but I think it's a good energy to be at. It's a good place to be at, and I think I would, like I think that's really. I guess some people may think that's like arrogant or something, but I think it is. Yeah, I think if the answer to that is like no, then it's like okay, well, like you probably have some things to work through, like how a lot of people don't love themselves, or they don't even like themselves. Like why not? You should look into that. And
once you get the time, I reckon you should look into McConaughey's acceptance speech for one of his awards. Ooh. They asked him like, who's your greatest hero? And he says, my greatest hero is me in 10 years.
Yeah.
He talks about it. It's like a motivational speech.
Yeah. I'll definitely look at it, man. I'd love that.
Last question. If you were to have dinner with somebody, one person alive, one person dead, who would it be?
Good questions, man. I think one person alive I'd like to talk to. I don't even know. I do like podcasts, right? Because that's like almost like you're not talking to them, but you can see how they think and how they talk, and it's very intimate. This is what it's about. I think that's why people like it. But, I think I'm just trying to think of like people that I looked up to, like in the space. Like I read a lot of like Alex Hormozy stuff, Chris Williamson, Luke Belmar. I like him. He's cool. Maybe one of those guys. Yeah, I haven't really thought about that too much.
One person dead.
One person not here. Probably like a family member. Yeah, one of my family members.
I'm the same.
Yeah?
Well, my answer is my grandfathers.
Yeah.
'Cause one's dead and one's alive. So
Yeah.
sharing a meal with them would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think it's when they're gone, you just go, fuck, I wish I could. Like, I bought my mum this book that was like, tell me about your life. And it's a great marketing thing as well, by the way, because that's how they got me with the Facebook ad. It was like, don't let your mum die before you buy this. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, all right, I'll buy it. Mother's Day's coming up. Like, great marketing tool. But I bought it and I was like, I just want to, get it, have a date night with my mum, just be like, because they have so many stories, bro. Like, and it's like your grandfathers, your father, your mum, whatever. They weren't always a father. They weren't always a grandfather. They were just a person. They were a kid at one stage. Like, I think when we're probably a bit older, we realize now, but me, when I was like 18, 16, 15, your mum's your mum, bro. She's not a person. She's your mum. She's there to fucking service you, bro. Even though that's horrible to say, and it's not really true. You think that.
Yeah.
Like, you're born into this life and you just have a carer and you're like, oh, that's my carer. Like, you just get used to it. You forget that they had a life before you.
And you only really realize it when you become like a full-grown adult.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, shit.
Wow,
like
they had
my parents, what I'm going through right now, there's a chance my parents went through the same
100%. 100%. That's so true. Yeah. I have one question for you, if that's okay.
Yeah, right.
What's been the most impactful, like, learning lesson you've learned through, like, this, doing your podcast?
Oh, I like it.
That's like challenged or affirmed, like, your thinking, or something that's just blown you away.
I think the biggest thing about having this podcast, like, you will be my episode number 62.
Oh, awesome, man. That's fantastic.
Like that. I would say having these 62 conversations with different people, it's humbling. It's actually a sense of relief that everyone's going through the same thing.
Yeah.
But they're also not. Because, like, say, I've had a lot of business owners on this podcast, and everyone has the same experience of, like, taking the leap of faith and, just betting themselves. And one's going through a point in their life where they didn't like the life they were living. It's like, oh, wow,
similarities.
I can really relate to that. But then there's also, like, you really can't judge a book by its cover, because everyone's got the story, so there's something so deep within, a reason, like, why they're like that. So how I've approached conversations now, like, I've only been doing this podcast for 2 years, and in these 2 years I've felt a lot of growth the way I talk to people. 2 years before the podcast, I used to think like your story doesn't matter.
More attentive to people.
I'm more attentive to people, 100%. And you sort of give people more, like, the benefit of the doubt. More often than not. Yeah. Like, they did something shit to you. Like, there's probably a reason why.
Yeah.
I sort of was like, all right.
That's cool, man.
And it's very humbling. Like, it's hard sometimes to, like, oh, someone did something shit to me, and it's like, oh,
just fuck them.
It's like, but nowadays I'm just like, okay, whatever. There's probably a reason why. Probably having a bad day, maybe.
Yeah.
Give them the benefit.
Again, being more, like, forgiving, and just, life's too short to hold grudges, man.
It's about, and like you mentioned, energy, and that's what it is. Like, the energy that I give towards a reaction is like, it would, like, if someone cuts you off in traffic, all right, you're gonna let that ruin your day.
You're gonna give them the power to influence your mood.
There used to be a time where people will, like, people will indicate and you let them in, but they don't say thank you. That used to piss me off so much. Like, bro, I was like, you're welcome.
You really? Yeah.
I'm just like, huh.
Like, See, that, in my opinion, that's growing. Yeah. That's, like, your mindset, like, because some shit is out of your control, man. Exactly. Like, you just can't, like, no matter how pissed off you get, it's not going to change their behavior.
It's not, bro.
And is it your job to change? Are you coaching them? Are you their dad? No.
No.
They're just some random that you just don't give them. I think something I learned from Hormozy was, like, because he had some situation where his parents were like, be a doctor, and he's like, nah, fuck you, I'm going to be an entrepreneur or whatever. He was like, I'm not going to give them the power over me, because it made him angry, really angry, apparently. Yeah. And he's like, I'm not going to give them the power to make me angry. And then that changed the whole, like, trajectory of his efforts, and, like, because that you being angry is energy. right? That's a negative energy that you're only surrounding. You're like, it's like it's just you in your car, and it's like you're sitting in your own stench of shit energy, and you're like, hold on, I just let this person throw a shit energy grenade in my car, like a horrible stench, and now I'm just bathing in it. How about I just flip the switch here and I go, oh, well,
exactly,
like whatever, it is what it is.
That's all it takes.
Yeah,
that's all it takes.
Yeah, it's powerful though. It's really powerful.
And you take control. That's freedom, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
I love it.
I think that's a good thing to end on. I like that.
Any final words?
Thank you so much for having me. It's been really good. Even me, like talking to you today, I think definitely, man. I mean, I think 2 years of this, Average Joe Radio, that's the coolest thing ever.
Thank you, bro.
That's so cool. Like, and it's a pleasure to be on as a guest, and I think I will also leave this room and be a bit more attentive to the conversations I have with others around me, and I'll be a bit more present of the energy that I give out. Like no one's perfect. We have those days, but I think for the most part, I will be more aware of that.
I love that.
Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you. Before actually we wrap it up, I do want to say thank you as well. I actually wasn't expecting this conversation to go like this. I learned a lot from you. Just even that conversation that we had in the gym the other day was very eye-opening, and I'm very grateful. Thank you so much, man.
So am I, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, bro.
Let's go.